What's up, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of the Hoopers Lounge podcast with Max and my co-host Alex.
What's going on?
Today, on the first episode, we're going to be talking about the Summer League analysis, the 2023 draft review, and our first initial thoughts on the in-season tournament debuting this season.
We are a podcast that's discussing the news and events going on in the NBA. We will be uploading every Thursday and Sunday. And feel free to follow our social medias. Our Instagram handle is the Hoopers Lounge Pod, and our YouTube, which you'll be watching on. This is the Hoopers Lounge Podcast.
All right, so let's
get into the
time.
Summer League.
Yeah, first topic, the Summer League analysis. Alex, you want to get it started? First thoughts?
All right. This is the most hyped Summer League I've seen in a while, partially because of the massive hype generated around the draft with the once-in-a-generation prospect Victor Wembanyama, the star potential of Scoot, Amen Thompson, Brandon Miller. But we had a lot of other standouts in the late first round, early second-year players that stood out.
I agree.
Obviously, as you guys I'm sure know, Cleveland won the Summer League. Cam Whitmore won MVP. Rookie out of Villanova. He slid in the draft, 20th pick. He went on to average almost 20 points a game, 5 rebounds in the Summer League. One thing I noticed is he only shot 29% from three. He wasn't a sharp 3-point shooter. He got most of his points in the paint. And against bigger NBA players, I'm not sure if he can keep that up.
Yeah, he looks like more of a slasher to me, somebody similar to like Zion, but less athletic and less big. But that's kind of how I viewed him, as just a dominant force in the paint. But he's a little undersized for that, so that may come back to bite him. But hey, NBA trainers turned Giannis into the freak, so Cam Whitmore might just put on 30 pounds of muscle and be a freak too. So who knows?
All right, and we're gonna talk about Wemby for a little bit, because this is the most hyped prospect maybe since LeBron. Some people are saying ever
since Zion. I want to correct you on that.
Since Zion,
a lot of people say
I think he's more hyped up.
He is more hyped up than Zion, but people forget how hyped up Zion was just because his NBA career hasn't lived up to the hype. People were comparing Zion to LeBron, just like they're comparing Wemby to LeBron now. But Zion's been hurt every season, so everybody forgets about that.
That's true, but Wemby just looks like he's going to be a force in his rookie year.
I agree. He's going to be the best player on the Spurs, easily, this season.
And he's the first rookie in quite a while that I think has a legitimate chance to make the All-Star game in his first year.
I agree with that. The Western Conference center's kind of loaded, but I don't know. Forwards, however they do.
Let's talk about his Summer League performance for a little bit, though. Talk about his Summer League.
Yeah,
so
okay.
First game, he
flat
out struggled in his first game. He didn't have a lot of offensive success. He still had a good defensive performance, putting up 5 blocks. And then in his second game, he went on to get 27 points in his second game, made multiple threes, showcased offensive abilities. After seeing his 2 Summer League performances, we've seen the highs and the lows. What are your expectations for Wemby going into his rookie year?
Well, I think I already mentioned it, but I expect him to be the highest scoring player on the Spurs. Maybe behind Keldon Johnson, but probably the highest scoring player on the Spurs this season. And he will lead the league in blocks. After watching those 2 games, he will lead the NBA in blocks. He's an absolute menace defensively. His arms are longer than you think, probably. I mean, I've never seen one person block so many 3-point shots. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, he blocked. It seems like he could do that a couple times a game.
Yeah, I know. It was insane.
He's got the 8-foot wingspan.
His second game against Portland, he was lights out, except for his one-legged 3 at the end. That was such a bad shot. I did not like that. He was dominating throughout the entire game, and then just took a one-legged 3 at the end.
It's Summer Case. At that point, he's just trying to show what he can offer. Like, he's just trying to show it off. I feel like that's the point of Summer League. If he's going to try it out, that was a good time.
Yeah, and hindsight's 2020. That ended up being his last game. He knew he was going to get pulled anyway. So,
yeah, you imagine if he makes that? That would have been the most viral play of Summer League.
Yeah, the building would have exploded if that went in.
All right, so let's go on. Let's move on to other prospects taken in the draft. We got Scoot Henderson, we got Amen Thompson, Brandon Miller. What top 5 pick besides... I know there's a small sample size. A lot of them didn't play too much. But what top 5 pick besides Wemby impressed you the most?
Asar Thompson, Amen's brother, who plays for Detroit. He was amazing in the Summer League. And his chemistry with Marcus Sasser was really interesting for me because they have so many good guards. I just don't know how they're going to play Cade, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, and now Marcus Sasser, who is probably could be a good piece off the bench for any NBA team.
Thompson can play the three as well. They also have Killian Hayes, who I'm sure they're looking to trade or get rid of.
Yeah, he's definitely the odd man out in that situation. What about you, though? Do you have a top 5, top 10 pick that impressed you the most?
For me, Brandon and All-Star were the only ones that played most games in the Summer League. All-Star had his moments. Brandon had his one game where he put up 27 points, but neither looked as dominant as Scoot and Amen did in their one game they played against each other. I know they didn't even play the full game, but Scoot looked incredible. He was hitting mid-range, he was hitting 3-point shots, which was considered his biggest weakness. He showed finishing around the rim. He hit a very nice double clutch reverse layup. It was beautiful to watch.
Scoot is going to be very good for a long time in the NBA. He is special. He is special.
And I wasn't that familiar with the Thompson twins coming into the Summer League because I didn't watch a lot of I wasn't familiar with Overtime Elite. What I saw from Amen really impressed me. It seemed like he could get to the rim at will. He had great playmaking abilities for a 6'7" guard. And the one weakness is his shooting, but I think if he improves that, I see LaMelo Ball as a very viable NBA comparison to him.
I agree with that, and I thought Amen was good. I wish I got to see him play more. And if he did play more, I bet Cam Whitmore would not have won MVP. But that's just hot take.
Yeah, and I bet we'd all be talking about Amen instead of All-Star.
Yeah, probably. But they're just freakishly athletic. They can play 1 through 4 probably. And yeah, if both of them improve their shooting, their athletic ability will carry them to a very successful NBA careers.
All right, let's talk about the later rounds of the draft. Later round picks. What late first round pick or second round pick impressed you the most in the Summer League?
Well, I'm not sure which pick he was taken, but Keontae George for Utah.
16 to the Jazz.
Yeah, that's middle round pick, but he was, insanely good. And with Walker Kessler being their Rudy Gobert replacement, Keontae George in a year, 2 years could be their Donovan Mitchell replacement. He's that good. He scores at all 3 levels.
I actually like that comparison a lot. He's a great scorer.
He's a great scorer at all 3 levels, and because he plays for Utah, they just replaced Rudy Gobert with Walker Kessler, and now they're replacing Donovan Mitchell with hopefully Keontae George. A couple years, he could be borderline all-star. He's really good.
I didn't think of that comparison before, but I like that. Keontae, just like Donovan, was taken in the teens, kind of a slept-on prospect. And then they both showed out in the Summer League. Both of their weaknesses coming into the NBA was their defense and playmaking. And Donovan Mitchell has done enough to make those not a weakness.
His defense and playmaking continue to improve every season. So,
they're going to continue as the more he practices with NBA and plays in the NBA.
What about you? Any
someone I was impressed by was Emoni Bates. And he has a super interesting story, too. Emoni was supposed to be what Victor Wembanyama is. He was this hyped-up high school prospect we talked about as generational. Talked about as the next KD. He has a silky smooth offensive game. Again, a 3-level scorer. He reclassified to a grade above him and then entered college early. He went to Memphis where he struggled. He struggled under Penny Hardaway in the Memphis system, on a team that had a lot of young talent as well. That he ended up transferring to Eastern Michigan, got into some off the court trouble there, and he was put up numbers there, but not in great efficiency. Because of that, that's why he's moved to the second round. But in the Summer League, he showcased his ability to be potentially a 25 points per game scorer in his prime. He put up 17 points a game. He shot 40% from 3, which as a rookie, that's very good numbers. It's in the Summer League, but still, shooting 40% is very good for a rookie. And Cleveland might have gotten the steal of the draft if Emoni can live up to his full potential and live up to what we all thought he was going to be.
Yeah, him and Isaiah Mobley were definitely the best duo in the Summer League, hands down. They went nuclear, helped lead Cleveland to the championship. And Emoni Bates, he reminds me of Kevin Durant, as you said, with the body type, and Cleveland last year, their starting lineup was amazing except for the three. Imani Bates will be their starting small forward by the end of the regular season. Mark my words.
That's a bold take. Who's their small forward now? Is it Okoro?
Yeah.
Is he still on or is he on? Is he a Magic
I don't
now?
know. Or Koro or
Yeah,
Jetty Osman. I mean, mid. Just the definition of
yeah,
mid.
but I do agree. I think Bates can eclipse both of them by the end of the regular season.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Anything else for Summer League you want to discuss?
Quick shout out to Jabari Smith Jr., second round player. He had a disappointing rookie season, but he balled out in the summer league. First game, he put up 33 points and hit a
Sick
beautiful
buzzer
game
beater.
winner.
Sick buzzer beater.
Second game, then he put up 38, 7, and 6. And he is going to, after watching him, he's my pick for most improved player. I think he's going to be Houston's leading scorer. I think he's going to be the lead man on offense. And
If Jalen Green will pass in the ball, yes, he probably will be their leading scorer.
All right, let's move on to the draft now. All right, the draft just happened. It was again like this is the most hyped summer league in a while. This draft was the most hyped draft in a while. What team do you think won the draft, and what team do you think lost?
Okay. Now I wrote this down somewhere. Let me find this. Okay, best draft. I picked Houston because of the performance of Cam Whitmore in the summer league and the one game standout Amon Thompson. They only had, I think, two. I think those were their only two picks in the draft, but both of them are very good, and both of them will help them win in the next 3-4 years. So I think Houston had the best draft. Some other teams that I thought had pretty good drafts were the Spurs, for obvious reasons, because they have Wembanyama. That's automatic W. And then the Pistons had a very good draft as well. But I would give top draft to the Rockets.
I'm with you on that. I also have the Rockets in the top just because Cam Whitmore was expected to be a top 5, top 6 pick. And they managed to get him all the way down at 20. That's a lot of potential that someone's putting in a late round pick. And they still managed to get Amen Thompson.
Yeah.
And Cam Whitmore was actually projected by some mock drafts to go number 4 instead of Amen Thompson. And yet he managed to get both of them.
He slid far.
Yeah, it's huge.
While we're on this topic, I want to go over who I think had the worst draft. And that is my Golden State Warriors. They might have had the worst draft in the NBA.
I don't even know his name. Is it Podziemski?
I don't know, but they didn't win a single summer league game, so therefore their rookie class sucks. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, their first round pick was Brandon Podziemski. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry if I'm butchering that, but he's classified as a shooter, but struggled in shooting. Could not make a 3 to save his life.
And Trace Jackson Davis, I don't even know if he played. He might have been hurt. I don't know. He didn't make much of an impact if he did play. So,
yeah, I mean, the Warriors are in a position where the draft doesn't matter too much. They even have their young talent on the trade block, so they're clearly looking to win now rather than try to win now and in the future. They scrapped that plan completely.
Yeah, they're somewhere stuck in the middle right now, and the draft class this year does not look to help as much as previous draft classes would have, a.k.a. James Wiseman. Rest in peace.
But as long as they have the big three of Curry, Thompson, Green, they still have Andrew Wiggins. They got Chris Paul coming off the bench. I still think they'll obviously still be a contender in the Western Conference.
Oh yeah, I mean we have a top 3 player in the league, so we're a contender every year. And then there was one specific pick that I wrote down as my weird pick of the draft, and that was Kobe Buffkin for the Hawks. He's supposed to be a guard, but when they have Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and AJ Griffin, I didn't really understand the pick of Kobe Buffkin.
Not too much room.
I didn't understand that pick, especially when they just lost John Collins in free agency too. They need forwards bad. They need them bad. Mm-hmm. And they drafted another guard. They still have
Bogdan Bogdanovic as well too, right?
I think so. Playing on the Hawks? I think he just re-signed with the Hawks actually, but
that's another guard they gotta get minutes for.
I mean, that's like 5 shooting guard point guards, and I think their only forward that's capable of doing anything is DeAndre Hunter. Mm-hmm. That's probably it, because they just lost John Collins. They should have gotten Jaylen Brown, or at least tried, but that didn't work.
Yeah. Now that Jaylen Brown's extended, he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Nope.
A sleeper pick that I don't think people are talking about enough is Bilal Coulibaly. I think if
Wemby's teammate, right?
He is. Yeah, he's Wemby's teammate. He played for Metropolitans overseas in France, and he rose up the draft boards very quickly. He was expected to go in the 20s, rose up quickly, was expected to be a lottery pick. Washington ended up taking him at 7. and his offensive game is a work in progress. But he was he had 3 or 4 highlight blocks in the summer league. He looked like a lockdown defender. He's a very high risk, high reward prospect. But I think if he pans out to his full potential, we could be seeing another Kawhi Leonard. He's already an elite defender. That's why he got drafted that high. And if he can pan out his offensive game, I think he's going to be a great pick for the Wizards.
Yeah,
I like the Wizards.
I think he could be very special, and my prediction for the Wizards is that they trade Kuzma, which will only give him more minutes in that 2-3 role. My sleeper pick for the draft is Jaime Jaquez Jr. for Miami.
Oh, he's going to be such a great fit with Miami.
He was so good in the summer league, and Miami makes everybody better just by playing for Eric Spoelstra. He will make you better than you're supposed to be. And Jaime Jaquez already being a star in college basketball, he's going to be a fantastic, probably third best player on the Heat.
I think that might be the dream. I think that might be the dream team to player fit. Jaime Jaquez Jr. just screams Heat culture.
I know.
He's someone that's gritty. He'll do anything to help the team win. He's a team first player. And that's what the Heat are looking for.
He can play defense. He can attack the basket. He can get to the free throw line, but he'll dive on the floor. He'll take charges. He is the perfect fit for Miami. And
he's a great fit for Miami. And and Spoelstra and Heat culture is only going to make him better too.
Yeah. So that was my sleeper
I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting notable minutes in his rookie season.
Oh, I think he will. He will definitely take Duncan Robinson's spot on the rotation come All-Star break.
Hey, Duncan Robinson had a good playoffs. He had a good playoffs.
He did. He single-handedly carried them to their only finals win against Denver. So,
all right, let's move on to the draft. One of the big news of this offseason was the NBA's introduction of the in-season tournament.
Yeah,
this is a concept that has had success in European soccer leagues and whatnot, but it's the first time we're seeing it in any American league.
Yeah, American sports. Yeah.
Yeah, the format, there's going to be 6 groups of 5 teams. There's going to be a group stage and a knockout stage where the 6 group winners plus 2 wild card teams. That's per the NBA. I don't know what wild card teams means. I'm going to guess maybe the 2 best runner-ups, maybe.
Yeah, I think the way they described it was the 2 best runner-ups out of all the remaining teams in like the 6 groups that you mentioned. Those 2 teams will be slotted into the 7 and 8 seeds, respectively.
Yeah. And then it's an 8-team knockout round, where the winner gets the in-season trophy and a cash prize. The wins and loss totals and stats also count to the regular season, except the championship. The championship does not count to the regular season record or
the final 8 teams. That whole like single elimination tournament, does that count towards the regular season or no? I don't think it does.
Yeah, yes, it does.
It does.
It does. The only thing that doesn't is the championship.
Okay, and the final 4 will be played in Vegas, and I think that's going to be hype as all get out. The final 4 being in Vegas is a great idea by the NBA. One, because Vegas doesn't have a professional basketball team, so that's just going to bring fans that don't normally watch the sport into the sport, which is good. And Vegas with the summer league is always hyped, so for an in-season tournament with stars, it's going to be an electric atmosphere.
Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere for Vegas.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the players are going to really care enough, because at the end of the day, every player goes into the season. They say a ring is the goal, and that means an NBA Finals ring, not an in-season tournament ring. I'm not sure if the aging stars like the LeBrons and Currys and KDs will care that much about the in-season tournament.
Yeah, and
that's my biggest concern with it.
The prizes, I mean, it's split but to everybody, and I'm guessing it's players and coaches, not just players that get the cash prizes probably. So, I mean, the NBA players, while it's more for bragging rights, I think, which will benefit the younger, hungrier stars to have something to prove on teams that aren't as good in the regular season, as opposed to, like you said, the LeBrons, the Currys, even like a guy like Giannis who's been injured towards the end of the seasons because he just takes a beating every game. Like the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Bucks may just
he's not
say you're not playing in the in-season tournament because we don't want you injured, but they do count towards regular season games, so that will probably make most players play. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think what's going to determine the success of it is how much the players care about it. That's
Yeah.
what's going to determine whether this is a successful idea or not.
Yeah, and
Because with the issue of load management we've been seeing within the past within the past decade, I just don't know if we're even going to see many stars.
yeah, it's just going to be regular season games, and then some of them count double. Like, that's all it is. Until we get to Vegas and the Final Four, I don't think the in-season tournament is going to change much, in my opinion.
And we obviously all got to see how it plays out. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the first year it's ever been introduced. We've never seen a concept like this in American sports, so
Yeah.
who knows? It could be widely successful in drawing a ton of new fans. But
I do think it will help draw in fans. However, I don't know if the players, like you said, will be invested as much as the fans are in this change. But again, they have time to change it in coming years if it doesn't work out the way they intend. So I'm excited to see how it plays out.
oh, so am I. More competitive basketball is never a bad thing. But I just don't think it's going to be the playoff atmosphere that the NBA is expecting it to be.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be more similar to a regular season atmosphere, which is, just star power everywhere, but a win is a win and that's it. Like nobody really cares.
Yeah.
My prediction for the winner though is I picked the Miami Heat because they take everything seriously. So I picked them to win.
It's never a bad pick there. Like you said, I think the team that's looking to prove something, to prove that they could be a contender in the playoffs, will take it a lot more seriously than teams that already are contenders.
Yeah, somebody like
New
Orleans,
an up-and-coming
team.
team.
Yeah, somebody
An
like
up-and-coming
that.
team like Memphis, Sacramento will care a lot more than Denver or the Lakers
Golden
will.
State. Yeah, I mean, the established teams, the established stars, will not care.
And my pick to win is the Sacramento Kings. Their
That's a
fans
good
have been
pick.
starved for playoffs for too long. They made it for the first time last year in 15, 16 years. Their fans want to see them succeed in something more than the regular season, and the players want to give it to them.
I can see it
De'Aaron
now.
Fox is a very MVP candidate. I think he's going to have a great year.
He's going to be a
and-
stud. He's already so good, and I can see him winning in-season tournament MVP already. I can see that.
Yeah, my pick to win would be the Sacramento Kings. But again, got to see how it plays out. It's a unique concept. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's a really weird concept to add, but it also depends, like, how does this interfere with, like, the All-Star break? Because the All-Star break is, like, a weird time in the season where, like, there's no basketball going on. So is this going to feel similar to where, like, when the finals in Vegas are going on, are we only going to are the regular season games going to be going on during that too?
Yeah, that's a good that's a good idea. That's a good question.
Because, like, if
And if not, the games are going to be a little unbalanced, aren't they? Say a team doesn't advance to the group stage, they're going to play 3 or 4
couple
less
weeks-
games than
yeah,
a team
they're
that
gonna
makes
have
it to the championship.
yeah, and a couple weeks of rest probably won't hurt the older stars. So, like, there will be some strategy into, like, tanking the in-season tournament, if you will.
But and if that happens, that's not going to be successful at all.
No, like, if you have teams that are, like, trying to push for the playoffs that decide, you know what, the in-season tournament isn't worth it, we're going to try and win the regular season games but not make the group, like, the final 8, so that way we don't have to play those extra games. Like, that probably makes sense for some teams to do, which is not good
teams
for the
that are
NBA.
going for a
That
ring.
is not good for the NBA.
It's a very high risk, high reward idea. There's obviously this potential that it goes very well, generates a whole lot of new fans. The stars care, they want to win. But the downside, this is a lot of money that the NBA is going to be investing into this in-season tournament. If it doesn't work out, I mean, they're going to try. This isn't a one-year test run. They plan on trying this for multiple years.
Yeah, I agree. And
So
once the postseason starts, nobody's going to care about the in-season tournament. At the end of the season, when we crown NBA champions, nobody's going to be like, you guys remember when the Sacramento Kings won the in-season tournament?
yeah,
Like,
it's going to be talked about. If you win, it's going to be talked about for a week or two, then just
Yeah.
forgotten.
It's going to be talked about until the All-Star break in February or whenever, and then that's pretty much it. But hopefully it gains some traction and is entertaining to watch. I know from a sports betting perspective, I'm excited to bet on it because I like betting on basketball.
Yeah.
But just more games to bet on, but I don't know. Trial
Yeah,
and error.
it's more competitive basketball. At the end of the day, it's always a good thing.
Yeah, that again, at this point in time, it can't hurt the NBA, but I just don't know how much it's going to help the NBA. That's how I see the in-season tournament.
we've hit crunch time on our podcast. So to close off every podcast, we'll do a quick little segment, whether it's a top 10 ranking of some sort, a blind ranking of NBA players, or whatever ideas we or you guys come up with. Today, I got a list of 10 NBA players. Max is going to do a blind ranking of them.
Current players, right?
Current players, yes.
Okay.
Current NBA players. And we're ranking them how they are now, not their careers. We're ranking the players now.
Okay, so is it who I want for this season? Who I want?
Yeah. Yes. If you could take a player right now to help you win games, who would it be?
Okay.
Okay.
Are we counting injuries? What about injuries?
Injuries
no?
don't count. No.
Okay, assuming everybody's fully healthy.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
All right. Player number 1, and that's why this is randomly generated. Patrick Beverley.
Okay, Patrick Beverley.
Where this is randomly generated.
Quick analysis on Pat Bev. Defensive menace, but he probably is going to be suspended a couple games just on the amount of technical fouls he has. And he's not a starting caliber guard in the league anymore. I'm gonna put him at 8. I'm gonna put Pat Bev at 8.
8. All right, let me write this down. Let me get this in order.
Yeah, I wrote it down so I remember where I
8.
have people. Pat Bev at 8.
All right. Next, we got Danny Green.
I thought he retired.
No, he's still in the league.
Okay, 10. 10.
10.
Yeah, I'd much rather have Pat
right.
Bev than Danny Green. 10.
All right.
I don't even know what team
Tobias
he plays
Harris.
for. Oh, okay. Tobias Harris, the guy who got picked over Jimmy Butler. He's so good and he's so bad at the same time. We'll put him 7, right above Pat Bev.
7.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we've got some all-star caliber players in the top 5.
This is a borderline all-star, and you're putting him right above Pat Bev.
I don't know if borderline all-star is fair for Tobias
Harris in his prime was borderline all-star.
But we're talking about right now. He's not in his prime right now.
Right.
He is not in his prime right now.
Next up, you're not gonna like where this goes. Robin Lopez.
9. I have to put him 9. And this is where the blind ranking bites you in the ass because
this because you don't know who's coming up.
No, I don't. But I gotta put top 5, top 6.
You've already marked off the bottom 4, so if there's any player worse, you're screwed. The rankings are done.
Yep.
All right, Julius Randle.
Okay. All right. He's definitely better than Tobias Harris. I'm gonna put Julius at my 4 slot. Julius Randle is pretty good. He's a 3-level scorer, but I don't like his attitude when he sucks because he just keeps his head down, and the Knicks are better without him. He needs to go to a different team. That's my opinion. But we'll put him at 4.
All right, John Wall. Current John Wall.
Yeah, prime John Wall. He's in my top 3 right now, but current John Wall, we'll put him at 6. I think that's fair for Johnny Boy. He plays for the Clippers now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's backup guard for the Clippers. Yep.
Yeah. He's
so you got
solid.
1, 2, 3, and 5 left.
Yeah.
4 players left.
I don't like where this is going.
Next one. Yeah, this has not been your best blind ranking. I know it's your first, but
no, it's not my best.
Hopefully, it gets better than this.
Yeah, I hope so. I sure hope so.
Bogdan Bogdanović.
Which one is that? Which team is that? The one on the?
That's one on the Hawks.
The Hawks.
That's one on the Hawks.
His brother's on the Pistons.
I don't even know if they're related. I think they just have the same last name.
I think they are related because I don't think a lot of people in the NBA have that last name. But if the one on the Hawks, will put him 5 because I don't think he's as good as Julius Randle. I think that's the only place for him.
So you got 1, 2, and 3. You better hope these are stars.
These are about to be like 15th man on the bench players.
And next is Derek Favors.
Oh my god. 3. He's somewhat better than Julius Randle. That's why I'm putting him at 3.
You cannot argue that Derek Favors better than Julius Randle.
I don't even know what team Derek Favors plays on at this point.
I couldn't even tell you either. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea.
Atrocious. Tobias Harris could have been in my top 3.
This one's going to help your list a little bit. Karl-Anthony Towns.
All right, we're putting him 1 because I don't think I'm going to get a player here better than Cat. So we're going number 1, Karl-Anthony Towns, the best shooting big man of all time, Karl-Anthony Towns. His words, not mine. Yeah, his words.
Best self-proclaimed.
His words,
that is not our take. He is not the best shooting big man of all time.
But I'll put him 1.
All right, last player. Frank Ntilikina
Okay.
is your number 2.
That's fine because he's not better than Cat, and at least he's not number 1. That's all I have to say. If I had put Cat
All
at
right,
number
so-
2 and Frank at 1, ugh.
All right, let's get your final results. Number 1, Karl Anthony Towns. Number 2, Frank Ntilikina. Number 3, Derek Favors. Number 4, Julius Randle. Number 5, Bogdan Bogdanovic. Number 6, John Wall. Number 7, Tobias Harris. Number 8, Patrick Beverly. Number 9, Robin Lopez. Number 10, Danny Green.
I feel like
Wow. You messed up putting Tobias at 7. That's where it all went wrong for you.
that's fine, but
Tobias would have been good at 4 or 5.
from Julius, okay, from Tobias Harris down, spot on list. And Cat at number 1.
You're not.
I do think
you
I hit
had
the number
Derek-
1 right. I do think I hit the number 1 right. I think Cat
Yeah,
is the best
you had the
player.
number 1 right.
Yeah, I think
I don't
that's
think you had anything else right except number 1.
maybe Julius Randle at 4. Maybe
Julius, on that list, Julius Randle's number 2.
you think better than Tobias? Yeah, probably. Okay, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Julius
and
at
Tobias
2,
Harris would probably be 3.
Bogdanovich 4. Pat Beverly probably should have
Yeah.
been in my top 5. To be honest,
Honestly, it was-
Pat Bev probably should have been in the top 5.
I would take Bogdanovich over Pat Bev. But yeah, you can make a case.
I think Pat would have been 5. He would have been 5.
All right. Well, at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
well,
that was a terrible blind rankings.
okay.
Hopefully, it gets better from here.
It will. It will. I promise you. I'll watch the film and I'll get better. I promise.
Yeah, and I'm shit talking now. I got my blind ranking on Sunday. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to go much better.
Good luck.
All right.
All right.
That'll close out episode 1 of the Hoopers Lounge podcast. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment any thoughts you have, anything you want us to discuss on Sunday's podcast.
Subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
Follow us on Instagram at the Hoopers Lounge Pod.
All socials, subscribe.
Yeah.
We'll see you. Peace.
Peace.